Hi, I'm Mrs. Lammott, your child's second grade teacher, and I wanted to introduce myself to you and let you know what your child is going to be doing this year in second grade here at Wildemar Elementary School. I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. My husband and I both teach here at Wildemar, and we are the last couple standing here at Wildemar Elementary School. They won't be hiring anymore. So at any rate, it's been really fun to be able to be a part of this community and have my husband on staff as well. He teaches fourth grade and I teach second grade, and we have been married for 33 years. We just celebrated our wedding anniversary, and we have 4 children, and they have all gone to school here and went through our classes and went through Wildemar Elementary. And then we lived in Marietta at the time, so they've transferred on to Marietta schools, and they've all gotten through college at this point, and we're grandparents, and life is just continuing to go on. But I just wanted to let you know that we are a part of the Wildemar community, and we live right here, and this is our home, and hope that you enjoy living here as much as we do. And here is our classroom. I could start rambling, but I thought that it might be nice for you to just see it's not all in perfect order, but this is where your child spends their time learning. This is our floor area, and this is our reading table. And then we have a nice big picture window with a bunch of stuff in our area. This is our library here, and we've got some different cushions and things that we can sit on. This is our student center where they can get their own free Band-Aids. That's a big one. And then we've got our hand sanitizer station and different things. Here's our job chart. Your child has been assigned a job, and we will switch out those jobs in a couple of weeks. We have our own classroom sink and pencil sharpener. Very exciting. Here's our behavior chart. We'll get back to that in just a minute. And then some of the things that are work in progress. We each have one-on-one iPads this year, which is a first for us. So it's been very nice to have iPads. And this is the desks where the kids sit, and the screen there is really where I use it mostly for an overhead projector, but it also is a computer, so I can do different programs and things and show them how to work things in my desk area. So I just thought it would be nice for you to kind of see where your child is. It must be a very strange year for you to not really be able to see exactly where the kids are. So let me see. I think I want to compliment all of you. You have done an amazing job at getting your kids to school on time. Don't stop, but it's been really great. Every morning we start 7:55, the bell rings, and then we immediately start gathering for what we call stretches. And if I can, I'll send you a little video clip of some of us just doing stretches in the morning. And what we do when we're stretching is we're actually getting their bodies to move at the same time as teaching them numbers and number sense of, we count by 1s, by 5s, by 2s, by 3s, by 4s, by 10s, so we count a bunch of numbers and we do stretches at the same time. So thank you for getting your kids here on time. And as you know, there is free breakfast and free lunch. It's kind of a fun thing. And I've noticed that a whole bunch of kids don't want to have free food. So we have a bunch of students this year who have chosen to make their own lunches or make you make their own lunches. Maybe it was that year at home they didn't really like having all of their food when they came to school. They didn't like the school food because they missed mom's cooking or whatever. So that's how our day starts, with the stretches. And then I want you to know that we are going to have grade level rotations this year, which basically that means that because we've got a variety of different levels, reading levels basically, that the kids have, we want to make sure that we are hitting all of the important spots. So if your child is really low in reading, we will be teaching him or her at that level. And if your child is really advanced in reading, we will be meeting their needs as well with using novels and books that are at a higher level. So we will do that in a couple of weeks, and we are testing right now and trying to figure out who's really at what level so that we can best meet their needs. And as I tell my class, your job is to get smarter. So it doesn't matter if your child is the lowest reader in the school or if they are the highest reader in the school, we still want them to advance. They are not exempt from advancing just because they are smart. So it's really, it's a push that we really try to emphasize, getting your child to advance themselves academically. So we will do the grade level rotation with reading, and there are 4 second grade classes. So there is Mrs. Seymour, Mr. Webster, Mrs. Carlisle, and myself, and we have worked together for a couple years now, and we work together really well. So it's a fun team for us, and we each have our little areas of expertise, and I think it'll be a really good thing for them to be able to do. I think the kids will enjoy it, and I know that the teachers will. So the other things you need to know would be that we have PE on Mondays. You probably know that, but just to make sure, we will have PE on Mondays every time that we're in school. And then when there is a Monday holiday, on occasion, they will replace our Monday with a different day of the week. We will have PE, so stand by for that. But when your child is here for PE, they just need to make sure that they have shoes that don't fall off their feet or that they can run in. Mostly they will do a lot of different activities. Sometimes they do dancing and different things like that, but they will be asked to do cardiovascular types of exercises, and so that will require their shoes not to fall off and, not to get blisters. Cowboy boots sometimes are a little hard on their ankles and their feet. So just keep that in mind. Every Monday we have PE. And on Friday, the kids' favorite day of the week, we have, as you probably heard, Club Friday. On Club Friday, your child is allowed to pick an activity that they would like to participate in. There are games, there is an iPad class, there is an art class, and then there's also a math and a science type of a class. And so because there's 4 teachers, we each take one of those, and we actually rotate through. So I'm not doing art every week or games every week. So they will rotate. The teachers will rotate through the positions, and the students get to pick who they would like to kind of spend time with. So a lot of times they'll be like, oh, pick games, and so the kids will plan out who they're going to be hanging out with, or they pick some activity that they really enjoy. And for the most part, it's like everyone's always excited about Club Friday. Well, it only lasts for about an hour. And so the kids get to pick and participate, but they don't get to participate if they don't have their homework completed, or if they are on a poor thing on their the behavior chart. So here is our behavior chart. And as you can see, we start with 3, and then we go to 2 and 1. 0 is where the kids hang out at. And that's every week we start right here on 0. And then kids get to move their clips up as I find them doing things that are above and beyond. But they also get to move their clips down if they are not doing things that are correct. So for poor behavior, they would move their clip down. For good behavior, they would move their clip up. But the trick is that it goes all week long. And so if your child starts out on Monday on 0, and then they do an amazing job and they participate, and I say, wow, what a great job. Would you go move your clip up? And they move it up. They only move it up one color at a time. But then say they have a problem and they end up hurting someone on purpose. So then I might say, oh, that was a really bad choice. You're going to need to move your clip down. And then they would go back to 0. But the same thing can happen if they have a bad choice and they end up here on -1. And then they work their way out of it by making good choices, better choices, and they get to move their clip up. So I just want you to know that if your child has a bad day, they always have the opportunity of pulling themselves out of that by making better choices. It's not my goal to have a bunch of punishment time with the kids, but really and truly what I want is for them to have maybe a bad situation, but turn themselves around. So, there's nothing worse than having a child who is makes a bad choice, and then all of a sudden they are grumpy and upset and frustrated, and they can't learn all day long because now they're going to, be upset about it. So I really like it when kids change their behavior, and I'm sure you feel the same way at home. We don't have a problem with punishing a child, but we don't want them to ruin our day. So I'm just hoping that you understand that we are trying to make it so that they can learn. That's my goal. My goal is to learn, but of course we have to have some consistency with the way that we treat kids. So that brings me to the other thing that influences our Club Friday choices, and that would be their homework. Now, your child has received a homework and completed work folder, and the idea here is that they bring this folder to and from school every day. Inside their folder, they should have their homework. This was the homework that we got today, and this is how we go over it in class. We spend time looking at our spelling words, talking about our spelling words, talking about the homework packet overall, and then we put it in our folder where it says homework, and it should stay there. It's okay if it doesn't stay there all the time, like you accidentally left it on the kitchen table or something. But the idea is that if their child has a question, they can always ask about it, and it stays in that homework side of the folder. But over here on this side, I like to keep the behavior chart. And so this side says behavior chart and completed work. Well, up here, you can see that the child has all of these different areas that they can have it goes along with the chart that I just showed you on the wall. So this is all of the information that you will need so that you see what kind of a day they're having. And I don't do this just to bug you, but I actually do this to hold kids accountable, because when they have to write down, oh man, I'm on -1. My mom's going to be so mad. Like when that hits them, suddenly they begin to do a better job. They're more responsible. They're more attentive. They try harder to make their clip go up instead of down. And so they're really making more effort, both for their learning and for their behavior. So it's a win-win. So if this begins to bug you and you're like, every time I get my child's chart, they're on -1, it's not a terrible thing. But encourage them, and it doesn't mean that you have to take everything away from them if they're on a -1 or punish them harshly. But just be aware that, wow, that's not what we want to see. We want to see 0s and 1s and 2s. And sometimes it's hard for the kids to get to a 1 and a 2 and a 3. So I just want you to be aware of that also. Sometimes parents put a lot of pressure on their kids to perform when, like, maybe the child is really shy and it's really hard for them to actually answer questions. And so if your child is very shy and very quiet, they probably won't move their clip up a whole lot. But that also means they probably won't move their clip down a whole lot either. So there are benefits. All right, so if they do not get their completed homework in on Fridays, that homework right down there at the bottom, it has to be signed that someone went over it with them. And on the back, it also, or not the back, but the second page, it also has to have on this roll and spell sheet. It's just kind of a fun way to do spelling, but I need your child to have this initialed. And I know it's not real clear on some of my copies, but that actually says parent initial. So the idea is that they can choose one or they can roll a dice, but they need to pick an activity one every day, write all of their spelling words, and then I don't need to see that paper, but I need a parent to verify, yep, they did it, and then put your initial there. So there are 6 choices, and each week your child only needs to turn in 4 because we will have homework only Monday night through Thursday night. So there will be 4 different opportunities to sign that. And at the end, we do have, at the end of that homework packet, there is also a daily reading log. And on that daily reading log, I'm hoping I'm holding my camera okay, but on that daily reading log, you will find that first Monday is a little bit tricky. And then the rest of the time, it seems kind of easy and boring. Well, the first Monday is just to really get them to think. I do want you to have them read to you every night, but some of the kids, it's hard to find books right now. So the first book really should be on Monday. It should be their library book. They checked it out on Friday. They chose that book, and that book is pretty much at their reading level. I might have some mistakes in there right now, but for the most part, we've done some testing, and that's the level that your child tested at. So if you find that the library book is too hard or too easy for your child, then just let me know, and you can just parent square me, and I will check into seeing what the problem might be. But as far as I can tell right now, that's the reading level that your child is at. So if they read it to you and then you comment on it, then they can go through and comment on your comment. And we're learning how to respond to each other's thoughts. So there's nothing wrong with anything anybody says, well, as long as it's appropriate. But we want to be able to think about why we think what we think. And so that's one of the big things in second grade. We really have to think about why we said yes or why we said no. So we want to be able to put some reasoning behind why we find the answer to something, not just the answer is 1 + 1 is 2. Well, why? Because when you calculate it out, that's how you get to 2. So these are the types of things that we're just trying to help kids understand in second grade. And we do a lot of writing and stuff with that. So if they don't get their homework turned in, they won't be able to participate in Club Friday. All right. So that is, Club Friday is only celebrated if the child has a good behavior chart. So that would be anything, if they get a -3, they cannot go to Club Friday. And if they do not have their homework signed or initialed on the spelling line, they do not get to go to Club Friday. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that. And then the only other things that we really need to cover would be that we won't have sharing in second grade. We will talk a lot about things, but we won't actually do like the kindergarten and first grade sharing things. So that means your child should not be bringing any kind of toys to school. So I just want to emphasize hats, necklaces, rings, things that your child might fidget with would not be something that they should have in class. And on the flip side of that, they are allowed to bring their own headphones. So we provide them with iPads and we provide them with headphones. But if they want a special pair of headphones, then they can do that and bring those themselves, and I will write their name on them. Excuse me. And They are also allowed to bring library book. I'm sorry, that's the next note. They're allowed to bring water bottles, and we have special machine things here at school now so that the kids can fill up their water bottle themselves. And it's very much a novelty. They are really enjoying doing that. But please make sure that your child's name is on that water bottle. It wouldn't be good to have just a, Stater Brothers water bottle and then all of a sudden, oh, I thought that was mine. And, the kids are drinking out of each other's water bottles. So just please make sure, help them get their names written in Sharpie on their water bottles. And then Friday, again, is library day. So they are allowed to bring their library book. They can keep it here at school, or they can keep it in their backpack, or they can take it home, but it needs to come back to school on Friday so that they can turn it in for a new book. And there are a couple kids who had books checked out from last school year. Those books need to be turned in, or your child won't be able to check out books anymore from the library. So we gave them one grace week of being able to check out a book because we don't want them to not, but it's really important that you either pay for the book or return the book from last year. All right. The last thing that I want to cover with you is Canvas. And as you know, Canvas was the program, or is the program, that we adopted as a district to use for the kids for distance learning. And so we did, in second grade, we worked together again as a team, and we did an amazing job with our Canvas page with the learning. It's not all beautiful or cute, but it is a great, well-rounded learning program. And so in the event that we have to go back to homeschooling for a while, or if your child gets sick and they need to do a distance learning type of a, what do they call it? Independent study type of a thing, that is going to be available to them. So it's not completely up and running right now, but it is something that is available, and it should be within a push of a button, but somehow somebody who's smarter and better at computers than I am actually has the authority to say, now we're going to do it or not. So we are waiting for that. Not that we're not planning on using it in class, except for just maybe to watch a video or something on something that we're learning. But for the most part, everything is in there so that if your child needs help with some area, I might be able to assign that to your child. So just be aware that that is coming, but it's just not out yet. So I think that is everything that I need to tell you. They do want you to know in the office that the PTA is still a wonderful group to be a part of. And just because you sign up for the PTA does not mean that you have to participate in the PTA. They want you to become a member simply to support them financially. And I think it's $8 or $10, something like that. And if you would like to be a part of the PTA, they are always looking for more members and people who would like to sit on the committee and make plans for the school. And we desperately need the financial support from the parents from this year and all years, but it last year was really tough. And so it would be wonderful if everybody in our class could sign up to be a part of the PTA and just pay their fee for being a member of PTA. So they do wonderful things for our school, and we really appreciate them a lot. In closing, if you have any questions for me, I am always available through Parent Square. And if you have any needs that I'm not aware of, I would like for you to let me know. And I'm not opposed to giving out my cell phone number, but right now I'm not having a lot of people reach out to me on Parent Square. So I'm not sure if you guys are just kind of over Parent Square or what, but please make sure that you are checking it. And, I usually look at my Parent Square notifications and then I think, okay, that doesn't apply to me. And then I, get out of it. But it's super important that you check at least the things from me. I don't make a lot of notifications on Parent Square, but when I want to say something, I really want to be able to communicate to the parents. And I'm sure you feel the same way. There are things that happen, and I want to know. I want to know if your child has trauma in their life, if somebody dies, or if someone's sick, or, because it really affects your child's learning. And I really care deeply about your child and what they're going through, and it helps me to understand who they are and how I can help them. So please be honest with me as much as you can. Share your life with me, and I'd be happy to share my life with you. So let me know how we can work together to advance your kids and make them strong, capable, ready for third grade kind of kids. So I'm so proud of my class. You guys must be amazing parents, because they are just the sweetest, the cutest, and the funnest group of kids. So we were really having a good time in school. I hope that they are enjoying themselves as much as I'm enjoying myself. So, all right. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'm so sorry you can't come in. But hopefully we'll get to meet face to face very soon. And I'm always in the back if you want to grab me after school. I still walk my kids to the back gate. I actually have 3 classes that I walk to the back gate every afternoon. So if you ever want to catch me, I'll be back that way. All right. Take care. And it was nice talking to you, even though you didn't get to talk to me. Sorry. All right. It's nice to talk to everybody. I will talk to you again later. Bye.